Pick number 24, the Sacramento Kings take Nique Clifford out of Colorado State. Probably a guy we're a little bit split on. I am very, very high on Nique as someone who I think does so much well on the court. Like elite defender, good playmaker, great athlete, can score truly at all three levels. A lot of guys say it, a lot of guys don't mean it. Nique actually lives that out. I think he can make an impact as a rookie. I think he's the type of older prospect who always shines right away and then could even mess around and make an all rookie team. Dion, he's going to your area. You might be going to some Sacramento Kings games to tap into Nique Clifford live next year, but I know you're a little bit hesitant on buying into him. What do you like or not like about Nique's game?
I don't dislike anything about it. I also don't like anything about it either. And I just think he's like one of those, he's just a dude, a very Kings pick where it's like, what are we actually about to do with this guy? Devin Carter, like it's same mold where it's just like, what is our plan with Devin Carter? Do we have one?
Yeah.
We did not. And then De'Aaron Fox demanded a trade, and all of a sudden we had an opening to where it's like, cool, we can pretend we had a plan for Devin Carter, but we didn't from the jump. Nique Clifford's in the same spot where it's like, is there a plan for Nique? No. But if Levine, Monk, Keegan all want out, then I guess they might have a plan for Nique at some point. In DeMar, right? Like there's a million wings on this team. I think two or three of them probably have already asked out in DeMar, Levine, and potentially Monk. Keegan, I believe, is a restricted free agent this year
Is he
because
already,
Kuminga
man?
is, so Keegan has to be restricted. Um, Sabonis wants out. Like the list goes on and on. What is Sack doing? No one knows. And then it's like, yeah, let's move into the latter half of the first round to take Nique Clifford in a very top-heavy draft. I don't understand what Sack's doing. I don't hate the pick. I'm not hating on Nique for it. I just don't think there's a rhyme or reason behind anything Sack does. And maybe they luck out, everybody wants out, and it looks like they knew what they were doing. But if everybody sticks around, Nique's playing in Stockton next year for the Stockton Kings. Let's be real.
One, I think Neat can play in the NBA next year. Two, I've just died at like the notion that Levine asks out, Keegan Murray asks out, Malik Monk asks out. All three of these dudes won out, but hey, we got Neek, baby. We reloaded.
We're
Like
good.
what seems like Sacramento's MO is they always take these old dudes. Like, and it's I think we talked about this in a video we did recently where the developmental curve of like a Keegan Murray or a Nique Clifford type where they weren't projected to be one and dones. It makes sense. Like they came back to school and actually boosted their stock. Like that was a video that we did on the channel earlier this week. But it's to me, I like that if you're in win now mode. I like that if you still have De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. You can throw Kevin Herter. Let's say he's still on the team. If you still have those guys, Herter's not on the team anymore.
Herder's been on that team.
I wanted to make sure I'm not getting his like they.
You know, Herder got moved to
He was on Atlanta.
Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. He was in the Levine trade.
Okay, yes, thank you. I sometimes it's easy to lose track of what all these guys
No,
wrapped
you're fine. I mean, lison, who's keeping tabs on Kevin Herder?
up. Good point. So
Let's
yeah,
be
I'm
very
saying
clear. Let's not
if
make fun of Riley for that. No one else knew where Kevin Herder was either.
Thank you for preemptively defending me from the comments. But yeah, I think if that is still your core, where you have like a moderate amount of playoff success. I mean, weren't they a four seed a couple years ago with Fox? Like you,
They were a three seed where they won less than 50 games in a West where everybody was injured, and then they got curb stomped by the Warriors.
yeah, that was a fun series though.
Yeah, for me.
They were a three seed. Let's not get into the semantics of it to where if that was still the case, where you had this core that got you there, and it's like, okay, baby, Sacktown, we got it right for the first time since Mike Bibby and Chris Webber were here with Peja. Like we got this. We're drafting all these win now players, but instead they're getting all these win now players who theoretically should be able to contribute immediately, and it's like if these are connectors, what are they connecting to? Are they connecting to Sabonis before he asked for a trade? Are they connecting to like DeRozan, who's on the tail end of his career? Yeah, like you said, the plan here, I'm just not really sure if it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, there is no plan. So there's nothing to make sense out of what the Kings are doing. They have zero plan. I will say this. It was rumored, long rumored that they were going to do this. They were set to go out and make a trade into the first round to pick somebody, and they did it. And I do think Neek's a guy that, like, at points was supposed to go a lot higher than 24. So to get him at 24 is obviously a bit of a win if you're a Kings fan. But like, yuck. Yuck, man. And yuck for Neek. Neek's a guy who needs to be in the right spot to stick in the NBA. Let me tell you something. If that's the case for you as a player, boy, is Sacramento the wrong spot. Because what in the world are they doing? They have no idea. Truly, they have no idea. I don't think Neek knows like what he's gonna do when he gets out here. And I'll tell you this, I can help him with some restaurant selections. The kid's been eating good lately. So if Neek wants to know where to go, I can help him out with that.
That would actually be special. You're the one I trust most on of the sleepers quintet of being able to befriend an NBA player and show him around his new city. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to downplay this by making it too much about making fun of the Kings because I was one of the high guys on Nique Clifford. I had him 12th on my big board. I do think like the shot creation ability is real, and we've been saying it all night. That's one of the main things you have to do as a guard or a wing to stay on an NBA court. And that he was a Mountain West all defensive team guy, often took on the responsibility of guarding the best player on the opposition. He did that while averaging 19, 10, and 4 for a good Colorado State team that was a Derek Queen buzzer beater away from making the second weekend. Like there is a lot to like and a lot to believe in with Nique Clifford. And even going back to his development, this was a kid who started out at Colorado, was a late bloomer, barely cracked the top 100 going into his senior year coming out of high school. Hardly played at all his first year there. Earned a role his next 2 years, but didn't really never averaged more than 5 points a game while he was at Colorado. Has a change of scenery in Fort Collins. 12 points a game his first year there. Gets over 19 this past year. I think you watch the steady development and the track that he's been on. I would buy that continuing. I know being older seems like a death sentence sometimes because he committed to Colorado initially pre-pandemic. He's been in college for a while, but I think there are some ready-made NBA skills that should translate. There's just always the risk here when you draft these older wings who stuff the stat sheet that they become Chris Duarte. Remember him? It was like a late lottery pick for the Pacers.
Yeah, he went 14 to Indiana. He ironically, I want to say he went one pick after Moses Moody and two picks after the Kings took Davion Mitchell.
Another old guy who the Kings drafted.
Yeah.
Loved that pick for the record too. I maybe this is something that's like scary about me that I always like the Kings picks, and I just need to learn that if the Kings draft him, I probably shouldn't like them.
Davion made a lot more sense than Neek. Breaking news, the guy picked in the lotto makes more sense than the guy picked 24. That's real analysis for everybody. And
Well,
Davion didn't work out, by the way.
yeah. Well, he's okay for the Heat now, but yeah, it did not work out for Sacramento. Anyway, I'm still high on Neek. Hopefully he can figure it out. Hopefully Sacramento has some sort of plan. We just want to see
They don't.
Nick drive.
They don't.